And we are back for the last part of the page, and I hate my camera. For a simple reason, you have to push on the screen. Wait a second. Yeah, that's. You have to push on the little red button on the screen. There is no actual physical button. It's a bloody touch screen, and there is no actual record button. And I didn't push it properly, and it didn't save. So right here I did this panel before. Yeah, there. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, but yeah, let's just finish this. And then there is I also did some special effects here on this panel. So this is good. Last video I was ranting about computers. This time I'm not going to rant about computers because, well, whatever you do, it's crap. You can buy whatever you want. It will be crap nowadays. It's as simple as this. If you buy a PC, you will have Windows, which is crap. If you install Linux, you will have Linux, which is hard to use. And Linux users will probably tell me otherwise. It's like, oh, it's very easy, you just have to have some basic C++ programming skills. And don't use a Ubuntu version, it's just easy to use, and you don't have as many functions. I'm sure Linux lovers will love my nerd Linux user impression. Goodbye, readers. I'm kidding. Use whatever you feel like, but don't hate people because they're using something that they feel is more adapted to their means. And I like to use Mac OS X, which is brilliant. Very simple to use. I'm a comic book artist. I want to use stuff that is easy to use, which is why I hate touchscreens. So, let's not talk anymore about computers today because it's a depressing theme. Let's talk about Zelda Majora's Mask. I've just finished the game. I had a love-hate relation with the Nintendo 64 version because on the other hand you had this brilliant design, the story, the feelings of the game. It is a very feel-driven game, if I can say that like this. And it's all this existential horror, essentially. This is a game that fascinating, a brilliant thing, but it has so many things that are just unpleasant. That is, on the other one hand, it's a game to love, and there are so many things that you hate. For instance, my biggest gripe with the game was the time limit in a Zelda dungeon. What? The other one is how cryptic it often is. There's so many masks that you have no idea how to get. Like the postman mask is impossible to figure out. I mean, yeah, I had this letter to give, and I gave it to the person who needed it, and then I learned, no, you have to give it to the postman, and then he will give you his nice hat. Great, thanks guys. Now I can do the quest again. So this was very irritating. But they changed a few things on the 3DS version. The dungeons have been improved. That means the water dungeon now is only absolute horror. And in the original N64 version, it was absolute depressing, terrifying horror. I genuinely dislike this dungeon. It is the single worst dungeon I have experienced in a Zelda game. It's more because it gets so grating and it's so confusing and oh god, it is awful. And you have to swim, and the swimming is still very poor. Which is weird because other controls have been very improved. I mean the how they call the Goron mask. It is now much easier to control. So there was this one part where on the original 64 I was just essentially falling all the time, and suddenly no, I didn't fall. It's super easy now, so that was good. A game shouldn't be difficult because of its controls. A game should be difficult because of its actual challenge. And this this version tried to do that. I say tried because the swimming is just awful. Yeah, but it's a good game. It's I'd say it's definitively the best way to experience Majora's Mask without getting too frustrated. Yeah, it's making it easier. You know, you can save everywhere. Yeah, that's good. It's a portable game for portable games console. You want to be able to save more often. It's yeah. There is no hardcore reason to have no save points. Yeah, oh, there was a game that I hated because of this. One of the Kingdom Hearts Recoded on the DS. It was one of the most awful portable games experience I've had because of how little you can play at times. Nearly an hour without having the option to save. To go to university, I use the train. It takes about an hour to get there, plus 15 minutes of bus. And so as soon as I arrived at a save point, I essentially had to stop playing because I knew, oh my, I just have a half an hour left before I can before I have to stop, and yeah, it's awful. Yeah, I'm starting the next page, guys. I want to do a complete let's draw of this one. It's just to because I'm in the rhythm now and I have the mood. Here I plan to have some nice little light effects. Majora's Mask, pretty awesome, but there are still some things that are really awful. That's essentially the gist. Dungeons shouldn't have time limits. That's probably my biggest gripe with this game. And no water dungeon should be this terrible. The water temple, oh my god, the Great Bay. I think it's also because of the music. It's the worst music in the game, I'd say. So I was actually glad to see the boss and have the crap boss music for a change. Yeah, it made me welcome the boss music because it was something else. On this page, by the way, Mark becomes an uber nerd. I mean, it's like a Super Saiyan, except it's a nerd. It was the only logical conclusion of that was possible. Just to give a little insight into how I plot stories, I have just bought an Atari 2600 VCS Junior, which is a small version. And I was thinking about what could they possibly have found in the ground. So, hey, I found an Atari cartridge. Yes, but how is this interesting? Well, we have a nerd, and in a previous story we have introduced an uber nerd character. And the nerd character here is pretty much already the closest you can have to an uber nerd. So, what will happen? He takes this, the spoiler alert! He takes the cartridge and turns into the incredible uber nerd, thus achieving a higher state of being. Logic. And also, it's when you're laughing while you're drawing, you know you have the perfect story. Okay, I'm not laughing right now, but while I was sketching, you can sure bet I was laughing. Here you can see how I do some easy light effects. Essentially just adding a few shadows here and there. Yeah, to make it feel like there is more light, just add more shadow. It sounds weird, but that's how it works, because the shadow gets just much more intense. So essentially turn the contrast on a bit. Yeah. As I know that I started playing another Zelda now. What is it called? It's the one based on A Link to the Past on the 3DS, and it's an awesome game. Just play it right now. It's brilliant. Wait a second. Oh. I'm listening to some music right now on a playlist, which I will give you the link to. But sometimes YouTube gets drunk and just stops for no reason. Maybe it's because I am using an old computer and many things on the internet tend to not want to work. Java doesn't work at all now. Just stopped from one day to the other. Probably at Java they went like, you know what, people already hate us, so it's okay if they hate us a little more. Java on the PC is absolutely, I mean, it's ridiculous how many updates you have to do. When I'm saying that I hate computers, yeah, Java is probably one of the reasons. I don't like Java. You can install everything and then they will say no, install and we've just found a new update, install it, so otherwise it won't work, and then you install the new one. And I think the most ridiculous thing I've seen was I installed it, I left my computer disconnected from the internet, and then it said that it detected a new one. How did you detect a new one? I have literally taken I'm using an antenna for the Wi-Fi. I had taken it off. There was no way the computer could connect to the internet. It has no internet cable, it had only the antenna. I took the antenna off, I installed the newest version, and then it told me that it found a new version. Where did you find it? You were not connected to internet. And essentially the lesson is Java is just yeah, that's the best description I could come up with. The 3DS is nice, I like the 3DS. Yeah, there are a few things in the modern world that I think are really nice, and It helps a lot to have a few of these things. The Lego toys are much better than before. No, seriously, Lego toys are awesome. The 3DS is awesome. Oh, it's not all bad. Ta-da! Light effects. Oh wait, the hand here needs a little bit more. Right on this I shall end. So, play some Zelda. Can be infuriating, can also be, but it's usually a great experience. Except collecting the pearls thingies in Skyward Sword. I have, and going back to the first dungeon to get a MacGuffin. I still haven't excused the game for that. This was just, you can't excuse it. Right, here it is! Woohoo! So, you can read the page. I have put the link in the description below. Have a nice day. Play good games, and remember to love your family and put your scarf on when it's cold outside. This is very important. See you.